And what are some things they advised to fix in the expansion?
So they've had tons of feedback. There's not like any large group of people, there's not much consensus.
Right.
And so I couldn't say, oh, the pro gamers said this. It's kind of, they give tons and tons of feedback to David Kim and Dustin Browder, and they sit down and all the design crew sits down and goes, oh, well, they said this and they said this, and we kind of synthesize that all out, and that's driven all of our moves. I mean, it contributed to the Warhound being pulled out. It contributed to some of the changes to the Widow Mine and all the units, and the Oracle changes. All of those they haven't been, one programmer said this, so we did what they said, but it's been, a bunch of programmers have said things, they indicated we should move in this direction, then the design team would sit down, take that feedback, and come up with what they think is the right unit. Because remember that we have to balance the game at every level of gameplay, right? So it's not that we're worried about, at the Bronze League level, about unit balance, but you have to make sure that there's not like a bronze level I win button.
And how do you think Heart of the Swarm will affect esports?
I think it's going to revolutionize it personally. There's actually a fairly subtle feature in Heart of the Swarm. It's actually in the beta patch right now that I think is 6 months from now is going to be one of the key features of it. And it's the fact that we changed spectator and observer mode, so now the UI is completely customizable. So what can happen now is all of our partners, our broadcast partners, the broadcasters, even the streamers, can build their own UIs for observer mode. So now rather than being constrained to the UI we've built, or very simplistic overlays that the streamcasters allow you to do, you can now use the full power of the StarCraft 2 system to build your own user interface for streaming, for broadcasting. So much like you've seen the change in the NFL from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s level of broadcasting information to where it is now, I think you're going to see that happen really, really quickly. And it's kind of a subtle feature, and it's not one that you'll see day one, but I think over time you're going to see the quality of the broadcast of StarCraft 2 go up tremendously just because of that. You add in some of the other stuff we've done around resume from replay and all that, I think it's going to do a ton.
And when you're making the game, is there anything that you wanted to put in Wings of Liberty but you had to postpone to Heart of the Swarm, and vice versa for Legacy of the Void and so forth?
Well, anytime you're developing a product, you've got limited resources and you just have to make trade-offs. And so it's not that we sat down and go, okay, this feature we're going to deliver in Wings of Liberty and we're going to hold on that, and then we're going to put it into Heart of the Swarm, and then we're going to hold on the next feature for Legacy of the Void. We don't think about it that way. I mean, we are trying to make sure that we pick the right features to put into each box and put as much value as we can in the box. And every time, it's one of the reasons that Heart of the Swarm took as long to make as it did, is because our focus is quality, right? At the end of the day, what matters is that our users are delighted with the product we built, that they're amazed at what we've done, and that they feel like they've got value. And so we're going to put that value into the box on every aspect of the game. We don't say, oh, we're going to hold this off for the next version. It's really, what are the right things for our user base? What's the right thing for the state of the game? And get that into the box at a very, very high level of quality.
And what advice would you give someone who's just starting to play Heart of the Swarm?
Keep at it. So we've done a bunch of stuff in Heart of the Swarm to make it a little bit more approachable, so that you're more rewarded for beginning gameplay and that there's continuous rewards, so you're feeling like you're getting what you need out of the game, to kind of help you stay at it. But really, like my own personal experience with StarCraft 2 multiplayer, and I am a terrible player, but once you get past that initial hump, and it's much easier in Heart of the Swarm to get past that initial hump than it was in Wings of Liberty, the game is so much fun.